Are we live? Hold up. Wait a second. It's Saturday already. Wait, what? It's 2 o'clock. What's going on? Is this the greatest episode of all time? Is this the best episode of anything Star Wars we've ever received? We're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? It's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to continue to break down that 5th episode, but we're also going to be predicting what's going on in this 6th upcoming episode in the Ahsoka show, because let's be honest, we haven't seen anything from these next 3 episodes from any of the trailers except for Grand Admiral Thrawn, who we know is obviously coming. So the rest of the story from here on out with the Ahsoka show is unknown, which is quite frankly amazing, and I can't wait to see what's coming. But it does add a bit of a mystery, and the predictions can get a little bit wild, as I'm making a video right now about Leia being in this next episode and Coruscant being in this next episode and all this crazy stuff. But yes, we're at 2 o'clock today, a weird time, but it's okay. We can change up the time every once in a while. We're going to talk about all of this regardless at any time of the day, so it doesn't really matter that much. But we do have to do it at 2 o'clock. So we're going to break down episode 5 first, talk about whether or not it's the actual best episode of any Disney Plus Star Wars content there has been. And then we're going to get into predictions for episode 6. And I have some crazy predictions for episode 6, but we'll get into those in a little bit. So, how's everybody doing today on this fine Saturday afternoon? How we doing, chat? How we doing? I'm going to start up a poll right away. Your pal Joe, what's up, your pal Joe? Austin, how we doing? Dennis, how we doing? Jay, how we doing? All right, let's see. Is episode 5 of Ahsoka the best Star Wars Disney Plus episode? Whoops, where the hell's the plus button on this thing? Plus episode. Yes or no? That's it. That's the question. Simple, easy, yes or no. You tell me. Is it the best episode to ever happen in Disney Plus history? We're going to talk about what other ones could be close or could be in the conversation at least. But what do you think? Is this the best episode? Is this the best episode? Honey Badger, what's up, Honey Badger? So let's talk about other episodes that would be even in contention. Like, what other episodes are there that would even be close to this episode? Now, right off the bat, I mean, just recency bias, is episode 4 of Ahsoka. Having the 3 awesome lightsaber duels, Baylan versus Ahsoka, Ahsoka versus Marok, who kills Marok, finds out that he's just green smoke, Shin versus Sabine, which was fantastic in that forest. And then it ends, of course, with the World Between Worlds and Anakin as a cliffhanger, which, I mean, that broke the internet. Episode 4 has, I think, still an 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. Let me double check myself right there. Let's see. Ahsoka. Let's go to Rotten Tomatoes. Ahsoka, episode 4, Rotten Tomatoes. All right. Ahsoka, episode 4, Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, so, according to Rotten Tomatoes, let me pull this up for you guys to see. According to Rotten Tomatoes, episode 4 is actually better than episode 5. It still sits at an 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. And now if we go to episode 5, perfect. Episode 5, it has a 89. Now, this was at like a 93 or 94 the other day. I don't know why it's come down. People are just stupid and dumb. But according to the critics, episode 4 was technically a better episode. Now, I think what is hurting this Ahsoka episode is people not liking how the Clone Wars looked. Now, I've heard it many, many times. I have zero problem with that at all. I think Ariana Greenblatt, whatever the hell her name is, did a fantastic job as young Leia. Hayden Christensen gave us probably his best performance as Anakin to date. And I just think it's ridiculous to say that the Clone Wars flashbacks didn't look good enough. I saw people critiquing Captain Rex's outfit. Like, are you kidding me? It was Captain Rex in live action. He looked amazing. Why are we complaining about this great stuff? It makes no sense to me. But according to the critics, episode 4 is better. So that's just just playing devil's advocate for myself here, because I think episode 5 is the best. I think it's the best episode that we've ever seen in Disney Star Wars history. Just in anything. Like, it's better than any Clone Wars episode. It's better than any Rebels episode. It's better than any Mando episode. It's better than any Book of Boba Fett episode. It is the best episode. But there are some other episodes that come close, and episode 4, just literally a week before, is in that conversation as well. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's gotten 100, but we can't lie. That episode was incredible. We talked about it all last week. It was an 11 out of 10. It was incredible. So Dave Filoni gave us back-to-back straight incredible masterpieces. But we do have some other episodes. There are some other Star Wars content, and it's funny because the next two we're going to go over are both directed by Dave Filoni as well. The guy's the best. He's literally the best. I don't know why he's not in charge of everything already. But we're going to go over 2 more episodes that were both directed by him as well. But let's see where we're at in the hype. Honey Badger, in the chat. In the hype? Hype in the chat. Honey Badger says, yes, this episode was probably closest to the best Star Wars we've ever had. Interesting. It even holds up to some of the movies. I gotta have to agree with that. I mean, you think about like The Phantom Menace, Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi, even Attack of the Clones, which I have a lot higher on my list than most other people do. It kinda is like at that level. It's that good. But yeah. Your pal Joe says, I think Mando Season 2 finale is slightly better. Ooh, it's close though. Interesting. Mando Season 2 finale, I don't even have, I mean, it is like in the conversation, of course, but I don't even have it like in the top 3. Not even top 5, I would say. It is a great episode. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing. But when I break it down, I think you'll understand where I'm coming from. Dennis says, I think Ahsoka will meet Night Sisters that will bring her to Ezra. In the next episode, Dennis, that would be crazy. Yeah, we don't know what to expect in this new galaxy, but let's keep going with this. Which episodes are better? Kumar, what's up? Kumar says, in my opinion, Twilight of the Apprentice, which is Rebels Season 2 finale, was better. Interesting. I didn't really understand Ahsoka's lesson from Annie, to be honest. She's been revived like 3 times, which kind of sucks. All right, I get where you're coming from, Kumar. I get it. She died 3 times. It makes no sense at all. But here's where I'm coming from. And I get that. Twilight of the Apprentice, we'll get to some Rebel episodes because some Rebel episodes are some peak Star Wars, in my personal opinion. But Twilight of the Apprentice is incredible. Now, I think what holds it back is that it is animated. Now, I know, like, that's not really a valid argument, but it's a tough thing to argue animation versus live action. I think live action, you can get actors' performances better. You can get cooler shots because it looks more realistic. And some of the shots that Dave Filoni gave us in this 5th episode are incredible. Like, even when it's just Anakin and Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds, standing on the bridge just from afar. Like, you get different viewpoints of this whole scene. Dave Filoni really knows how to give us what we want. But in your defense, Kumar, some Rebels episodes are absolutely fantastic. And her dying 3 times is a little bit crazy. However, she technically didn't die. She technically only died once. And was that even real? The thing is, Dave Filoni leaves everything up for interpretation when it comes to his crazy stuff. So the Mortis arc, was that even real? The 3 of them, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and Anakin, don't even remember the time on Mortis. So did Ahsoka die? Then you fast forward to the Twilight of the Apprentice in Rebels Season 2, and Ahsoka dies. But in Season 4, she gets pulled out by Ezra, so did she even really die? And then you fast forward to the Ahsoka show, and she gets pulled out by Anakin when she dies to Balin, but then she comes back, and she's still alive in the water. So did she really even die? And I know, you're talking about, like, it's all up to how you perceive what's happening here. But technically, I mean, speaking, Ahsoka maybe died once, because the other 2 times with the World Between Worlds, she didn't actually die. So she might have died on Mortis and was brought back to life by Anakin, and now she's the living embodiment of the daughter. But did she really die? Like, it's a crazy line to draw, but Kumar, I get where you're coming from 100%. 100%. Dennis says, Ahsoka Season 2 is coming. You think? Austin says, the best episode yet. I agree, Austin. I loved the Clone Wars flashbacks. Me too. Honey Badger says, because people always have something to complain about. mad that the Clone Wars is in Ahsoka and mad at the dumb little things like slightly different costume designs. I say here's a Kleenex. Hype, hype, hype. Yeah. So I think getting mad about like the little things like Rex's armor having a little bit of like wrong things going on. It's live action to animation. I've said it a million times. It's not going to be perfect. You look at Ahsoka in live action, you look at Ahsoka in animation. They're not the same. It's obvious they're not the same. The tendrils, the Leku, whatever you want to call them, her hair, headpiece, whatever, they're not the same. But that's okay. It still is Ahsoka Tano. You still understand that it's Ahsoka Tano. You got Harrison Dula. She doesn't look like she does in animation, but she looks good in live action. Even Sabine. She doesn't look the same as she does in animation, but she looks good enough to tell that it's Sabine. There are some worse examples like the Grand Inquisitor, but we don't want to talk about those because that's not in the Ahsoka show, and that's just a disaster. So giving us live action versions of Clone Wars Anakin and Captain Rex and a younger version of Ahsoka Tano, they're not going to look exactly like the animation because nothing ever does. I always bring up this. Let me show you guys. I always bring up this. And it's the perfect example for all of this. You can't tell me in a million years. Wait, what? Where'd it go? Okay, there we go. Yeah, perfect. This is it. This is perfect. Okay. You can't tell me in a million years that Emperor Palpatine, looks anywhere close to this in live action. He's got a pointy ass nose, big ass ears. He's got like a weird chin going on here. Like it's not even close. It's not even close. So to argue that an animated character that comes into live action doesn't look perfect is just a stupid argument. It's just stupid. It's dumb. I mean, this is not what Palpatine looks like in live action, and he was in live action first. So it's just dumb. It's dumb, and I'm not even gonna spend any more time on it because it's just stupid. It's just dumb. Moving on. Anthony says, Mike, Shadow Warrior, which is episode 5 of Ahsoka, is the best Disney Plus Star Wars episode, but The Marshal, The Jedi, The Rescue, and From the Desert Comes a Stranger, Twilight of the Apprentice, technically Ahsoka are all good too. Yeah, I agree. I think all those episodes are very good. We're going to get into what those episodes are because we're coming up. So let's get to the next episode then. Doom Guy says, the best Star Wars ever? Come on. I'm not saying it's the best Star Wars ever. It's not better than Revenge of the Sith. It's not better than Empire Strikes Back. It's not better than A New Hope. It's not better than Return of the Jedi. But it is some of the greatest Star Wars we've ever seen. So it is some of the best Star Wars ever. Jay, how we doing? I'm doing good. How are you? So going to the next episode. So you got Ahsoka episode 5, Ahsoka episode 4, but let's move to a different show. Let's go to The Mandalorian. So The Mandalorian episode, season 1, I don't think has any episode. I mean, some of the episodes are great. Don't get me wrong, they're amazing, but they aren't at the level of what we're talking about here. So let's skip to season 2. Season 2 starts with a freaking bang, which is episode 1 of season 2, which is The Marshal, and episode 1 of season 2 is The Marshal, where we get introduced to Cobb Vanth. Cobb Vanth is a very great new character in Star Wars. I really hope we get to see him more very soon. I thought he would be in Mando season 3, but that's okay. But we get him in the Boba Fett armor and Mando, and they're jetpacking around fighting a crate dragon. And it's spectacular. And it ends very similar as episode 4 of Ahsoka did, in a big cliffhanger with you actually seeing Tamara Morrison as Boba Fett in the flesh. Like, it was teased out in season 1, but we actually see Boba Fett in episode 1 of season 2. And I remember when that came out, the hype was insane. For the next week, in between episodes 1 and 2 of season 2, was wild. All the predictions of when Boba Fett's going to show up is he's going to fly down in the Slave One and take the armor right from Mando and beat his ass and whatever. He doesn't show up for a few episodes in the season, which was a little strange. But it was, at the time, extremely extremely important, and it kind of reminded me of episode 4 of Ahsoka with that cliffhanger ending of Boba Fett. Now, I don't think it's at the same level, and I don't think it's better than episode 5, but it is one of those top tier episodes of Disney Plus content. Also, in episode season 2 of Mando is the Jedi. This is episode 5. This is when Ahsoka is first introduced into live action, and this is another one, which is directed by Dave frickin' Filoni. Now, this is the best episode of The Mandalorian, in my opinion. It is. And just the way he films it, directing-wise, is spectacular, but you also get Ahsoka's first live-action appearance. You get Grogu's name reveal, which was a ballsy move. Everybody was like, oh my god, he's so cute. His name is Baby Yoda. He's so cute. And then they were like, nah, his name is Grogu. And I remember some people absolutely, like, think about all the people who are hating on the little details in Captain Rex's armor. Now imagine them having the ammunition of a name like Grogu. People lost their shit. They were like, they're calling this thing Grogu? That's the stupidest name I've ever heard in my life. And now here we are. And look down, because he's on your shirt. Look down, he's on your shirt. Guys, he's not on my shirt today, but I usually wear a Grogu shirt, and I don't know what to tell you. But he's on your shirt, and he's the cutest ever, and his name is Grogu. And pretty much everybody knows that by now, and if anybody's calling him Baby Yoda at this point, I mean, they're just stupid and they're dumb. And their opinion is invalid. But yeah, so Grogu was a ballsy take by John and Dave, and they introduced Grogu as a name in the same episode where Ahsoka Tano was first introduced into live action. Now you also get a cool lightsaber duel between Ahsoka and Morgan Elsbeth with the Beskar spear in that episode. You get a shootout with Mando and that other dude that worked for Morgan Elsbeth in that episode. So you get a bunch of cool stuff. A mention of Grand Admiral Thrawn. It's a spectacular episode. It is, 100%. And Doom Guy says Cobb Vanth is one of my favorites. Yeah, Cobb Vanth is a great character. Great new character. Probably Disney, to their I guess you can't even call it Disney. John and Dave have created some very great new characters in Star Wars. Din Djarin, I mean, of course, but Grogu, I mean, of course. But even side characters like Cobb Vanth, Fennec Shand, like these characters are amazing. But then you get to the finale of season 2. And this is the rescue. This is with Luke Skywalker coming in at the end to come save the day from all these Death Troopers and stuff like that. Now, the reason I don't have this episode higher than the Jedi with Ahsoka's first live-action appearance, or even the last two episodes of Ahsoka, is the episode as a whole. It's very cool to see Luke. I mean, it's left almost everybody in a puddle of tears because of how amazing it was, seeing Luke Skywalker be redeemed after what happened to him in the sequel trilogy, all that stuff. Getting to see him get a hallway scene, crush the Death Trooper. Is it Death Trooper or Dark Trooper? Death Trooper or Dark Trooper. Crush the Dark Death Trooper with his hand, with the Force. So damn cool. So that is awesome. And then you get the emotional scene of Din Djarin and Grogu's separation. But what kind of hurts that episode is what happens after in the Book of Boba Fett. When Grogu and Mando come back together before Mando season 3. Now, here's the thing. I think they should have been separated for at least a few years. At least a few years in real life or in Star Wars life as well. But they shouldn't have come together that quickly. Now, I'm not that upset that it happened in a different show than Mando, that it happened in the Book of Boba Fett. I'm not that upset about that. What I'm more upset about is that they didn't stay apart for nearly long enough. We still don't know how long it is in between Mando Season 2 and the Book of Boba Fett, but it seems like that time frame is being shortened and shortened and shortened with the Ahsoka show. We've been talking about this in the Discord. If you guys want to join a Discord of people who love Star Wars, there's a link in the description below. Of course, if you want to join the channel too, of course, become a member, support the channel, there's a link in the description below. But we talked about this in the Discord at length. When does the Ahsoka show take place? And before this last episode, I was convinced that it took place in between Mando Season 2 and the Book of Boba Fett. And there was going to be this time jump that was rumored that didn't happen. But there was supposed to be this time jump, and that time jump would take us to after Mando Season 3. now Ahsoka the White looks almost completely different than Ahsoka in the Book of Boba Fett when she talks to Luke, has a different headpiece on, wears all white, of course. She's Ahsoka the White. So it has to be after all of that, meaning the entire Ahsoka show takes place after the Book of Boba Fett. Morgan Elsbeth was captured by Ahsoka, interrogated by Ahsoka, and Ahsoka went almost immediately, at least as we can assume, immediately to go find that map to go get Ezra and stop Grand Admiral Thrawn. It was the utmost important thing on Ahsoka's mind at the time. Does that mean that Luke only trained Grogu for like 4 minutes? Like, I don't know. The whole time, it's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. But with that being said, I think the finale of season 2 of The Mandalorian, Luke showing up in the separation between Grogu and Din Djarin, as emotional as that was, and how cool it was to see Luke Skywalker, it's not better than the Jedi, or even this 5th episode, or even the 4th episode, I think, in my personal opinion. Knights of Melvin, what's up? What's up, Melvin says, Episode 5 ruined Anakin's legacy. Elaborate. Please elaborate. I don't get it. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Let's see what you guys are saying before we get into the Book of Boba Fett. Anthony says, technically, Ahsoka has only died once, on Mortis. Ezra pulled her through from her certain death in Star Wars Rebels, and on Cetos, Anakin pulled her from hitting the ocean. Then an hour later, immersed her. So, yeah, she only dies once, technically. Doom Guy says, she's got that thick plot armor for sure. Oh, yeah, she's got plot armor for sure, but that's because Dave Filoni loves her as a character because he created her. Yeah. Honey Badger says, Count Dooku is worse. Look at, he looks so, Count Dooku is worse than Palpatine from animation to live action. He looks so off in the Clone Wars and in live action, but of course, people have to find something to complain about in a good show. That's true. People need to find something to complain about, and that's why I'm very intrigued to see what Melvin has to say, if he's still in the chat. Doom Guy says, I'm not saying you said that. That was regarding your a comment you read from someone else. Oh, yeah, no, don't worry about it, Doom Guy. I totally get you. I didn't think you were attacking me or anything, but I felt attacked. Dennis says, Ahsoka ends, Thrawn returns to the main galaxy, but Ezra said to Ahsoka and Sabine that he is not the real threat. I could see that, Dennis, for sure. I definitely see there's a bigger threat in this new galaxy. Bring us back to Tatooine. Austin, there's so many fans that were complaining that like we have way too much Tatooine recently. And it made a lot of sense. I mean, Mando Season 1 was on Tatooine, or some of it was on Tatooine. Mando Season 2, some of it was on Tatooine. Book of Boba Fett, a lot of it was on Tatooine. Kenobi, Tatooine. Like, Tatooine has been a pretty central planet when it comes to Star Wars, so I think a break from Tatooine has been a good thing, for sure. Jay says, I think Episode 4 is better than 5. Interesting. I could see your argument there. I could see it. I mean, the lightsaber duels in Episode 4 were really, really cool. Getting the cliffhanger of the World Between Worlds and Anakin was really, really cool. My thing is the lesson with Anakin, the fight between Ahsoka and Anakin when he flashes to Darth Vader, and of course the Clone Wars flashbacks were so damn cool that it just elevates it that little bit above Episode 4. Just a little bit. Knights of Melvin, you're not going to elaborate on your point because it literally made no sense. You come in here and say, Episode 5 ruined Anakin's legacy, and then you don't elaborate. So your point's invalid. Doom Guy says, Cobb Vanth is one of my favorites. Me too. Austin says, was that Anakin from another timeline? Because that Anakin never fell to the dark side. No, so that's Anakin in the afterlife. Anakin in the afterlife, we see in Return of the Jedi as a Force ghost. He's revert back to him, what he looked like in Revenge of the Sith, kind of. It's because that was when he was last in the light side of the Force. So that was Anakin in the afterlife. That's why he's so quickly and easily able to switch in between dark side and light side, because he is in control. He wasn't actually going full dark side. He was testing Ahsoka. That's why he can go back to the light very quickly when he just closes his eyes and says, what does he say? His last thing he says, there's hope for you yet. He says, there's hope for you yet. Doom Guy says, it was like Timothy O. came straight from the Deadwood set. I don't know what that means, but yes. Dark Trooper or Death Trooper? It's Dark Trooper. All right, thanks, guys. Honey Badger says, I'm not the biggest Fennec Shand fan. She took away from Boba's badass scenes, in my opinion. Without her, he would have been more ruthless. But she does fit into the story, so I'm not too upset about her character. I actually am a big fan of Fennec Shand. Her in Bad Batch Season 1 was good too, but her live action character, in Book of Boba Fett, she does take away from Boba a little bit. But in like Mando Season 2, when she's really like the Robin to Boba Fett's Batman, like she's good. She's real good. Doom Guy says, supposedly they were a couple of years apart. It never really seemed that way though. Yeah, there's no way that the Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian Season 2 were years apart. There's absolutely no way. I could give you maybe a few months, but there's no way. It doesn't make any logical sense for it to be years. There's just absolutely no way. There's none at all. Nico, what's up, Nico? Knights of Melvin again still hasn't. He's probably gone by now, but you still haven't. I mean, your point is just stupid and dumb now. Says episode 5 ruined Anakin's legacy, and it makes no sense. Honey Badger says, literally immediately after, episode 5 solidified Anakin's legacy as the chosen one and the father. Could not agree with you more. Kumar says, yes, she only dies once, but of course it's plot armor as she should have died 3 times. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Kacha says, are you a Den of Nerds groupie? Do they have groupies? I definitely watch the Den of Nerds. Sure, Josh is awesome. But I wouldn't call myself a groupie. I don't even know what that means. Austin says, what about the water in the portal? What about it? What about it? Austin Hasler says, I have a theory that the time jump happened after Sabine got stabbed. That's the only explanation. Maybe there's a few days in between, but that's not a big enough time jump. I was thinking like this time jump was supposed to be multiple years, maybe even, if not a few months at the very least. The only time jumps we get are a few days after Sabine gets stabbed in one day, one rotation, as Hu Yang says in the last episode. One rotation after Ahsoka wakes up as Ahsoka the White. So unless that rumored time jump was just supposed to be one rotation, then they're just wrong. And that's what I see all the time. Like people are like, oh, Mike, you're spoiling this and that and the other thing. I'm like, leaks aren't always right. They aren't. They're almost like, sure, sometimes they're right. We got Anakin. We got the World Between Worlds. That was rumored for a long, long time. We're going to this new galaxy. That was rumored for a long, long time. We don't know if this is where the Night Sisters came from yet. Mustafar didn't happen. This time jump didn't happen. So there's a lot of things that, of course, I mean, the rumored actress to play young Ahsoka was different. It wasn't Ariana Greenblatt. It was the girl. Oh, it was the girl. Does anybody remember who it was before? The rumored actress who was going to play? Completely blanking on the name. Who the hell was that? It was somebody like pretty big too, I think. I forget. Honey Badger says, my only question / problem with Ahsoka is where the hell is Morai? I know, it's interesting. You didn't see Morai in the World Between Worlds, and you haven't really seen her in the real galaxy either, but Morai's not always around. She's only sometimes around. It's interesting we haven't seen her yet, but maybe she's in this new galaxy waiting for Ahsoka. Kumar says, if the jump was after Sabine got stabbed, Baylan, Shin, and Morgan would have been in Peridia. Maybe. It would depend on how long that time jump would be. Jay says, Tatooine is like the most known planet in Star Wars. Oh yeah, 100% of it is. Either that or Coruscant, I guess, but Tatooine's even been around since the original trilogy and Coruscant wasn't. Yeah, it's the main planet of Star Wars, Tatooine. Yeah. Doom Guy says, so many Vespa gang, I think you're talking about? The Vespa gang? I don't know. Caleb, what's up, Caleb? Caleb Richardson says, huh? If anything, it's cemented his legacy as a conflicted character. He has accepted that his destiny is to become both a Jedi and a Sith. Oh yeah, I think this really solidified Anakin's character as the chosen one, as the father. However you want to interpret it, really, it's quite the great explanation for where Anakin is without explaining everything, because we don't know where sorry. We don't know where Anakin is during the sequel trilogy. We don't know why he's not involved with Luke or talking to Luke. We don't know why he hasn't talked to Ahsoka yet, why he can only communicate to Ahsoka when she enters the world between worlds and almost dies. Like, we still don't know a lot about Anakin in the afterlife, but what we do know is that since Return of the Jedi, he hasn't shown up as a Force Ghost. It has been unable to show up as a Force Ghost. And the only time we get to see him for the first time in live action since Return of the Jedi is in the world between worlds. So there's something still going on and some explanation that still needs to happen, but Dave Filoni, as usual, leaves it up for our own speculation, which is fun, I guess. I just gots to know, you know? I just gots to know. Kumar says, I don't get the whole idea of the father/Anakin. The balance between the light and the dark doesn't really make any sense. George Lucas even said that being fully in the light side is what everyone should strive to be. That's true in a way. The Jedi were all light side. The Jedi Order was all light side. And you could see the flaws in the Jedi Order. They didn't allow attachments. They thought that like fears and all this stuff was really, really bad, leading to Anakin, who had fears, who had attachments, leading to a character like that of a crazy amount of power, being the chosen one, falling to the dark side. But if he had some training with balance with the dark and the light, then maybe he wouldn't be so evil and turn into Darth Vader and be able to be persuaded by Palpatine so easily. I get where you're coming from, and it makes sense that people should try to be light and happy, and George Lucas was probably saying that as in real life, but in Star Wars terms, being fully light side and neglecting the dark side probably makes you more open to falling to the dark side, I would guess. I mean, if you look at Anakin's fall, for sure. Yeah. Dennis says, how strong is Ezra in the Force, Ahsoka's level? I think Ezra's going to be extremely strong. From the time he left, he was strong, but I think he's gotten even stronger since then. And I think this, that wherever he's been for the last 10 years in this new galaxy, he's going to have learned a bunch of new Force abilities and be maybe even stronger than Ahsoka, which is absolutely insane. Ezra has a bunch of just raw power, like Anakin almost, but not at the actual strength of Anakin. What I absolutely loved about Episode 5 and Anakin in the World Between Worlds was the way Anakin just tooled with Ahsoka with his lightsaber, proving that he's the chosen one. Thanks for the hearts, by the way, guys. Proving that he's the chosen one, but also proving that he's better with a lightsaber than almost everybody else in Star Wars. The reason the lightsaber duels in the sequels are so bad is because they don't have training. They don't have training with the lightsaber. Maybe Kylo does a little bit, and maybe it's just bad writing, but but they don't have training with the lightsaber. That's why when Anakin shows up in the World Between Worlds, he's just faster, better with the lightsaber, like he was in Revenge of the Sith versus Ahsoka. And that's why I think Obi-Wan versus Anakin on Mustafar is the best lightsaber duel of all time and will continue to be, because the two of them, at the time of their lives where Revenge of the Sith takes place, Obi-Wan's been training his whole life with a lightsaber. He's very good with the lightsaber. And so has Anakin. And just his raw, of course, being the chosen one strength, they were peak lightsaber wielding Jedi fighting each other. And I don't know if we can get back to that point, but that's the reason that lightsaber duel is better than any other lightsaber duel. In my personal opinion, it makes sense. Honey Badger says, yeah, Mando Season 2 and the Book of Boba Fett are both set in the year 9 ABY, but where is that, Badger? They haven't really released an actual official canon timeline that explains when all these events take place. And it's pissing me off. It's pissing me off. General Grievous, what's up there, General Grievous? How we doing? Knights of Melvin, oh, you responded. You probably missed the part where she beat Anakin in the duel. Okay. We did talk about this, Melvin, but you're absolutely wrong. Sorry, losing my voice. We talked about this on Thursday. The reason that Anakin loses to Ahsoka, he doesn't lose to Ahsoka. He loses on purpose to try to make her go to the dark side and try to make her strike him down. The same way that he does in Return of the Jedi to Luke Skywalker, and Luke Skywalker does the same thing that Ahsoka does, throws the lightsaber to the side and says, I will not fight you. Well, she says, I choose to live. But it's a test. It's an absolute test. You could see multiple times where Anakin could have easily just killed Ahsoka. Easily. In that World Between Worlds sequence. He's so much more powerful than her. Could have multiple times just taken her head off if he wanted to, but he wasn't. It was a lesson. It was teaching. It was training. He wasn't trying to kill her. He wasn't trying to win. It was a lesson. So that does not at all affect Anakin's legacy in the slightest. Doom Guy says, Timothy Olyphant, the actor who plays Cobb Vanth, yeah. He also played the Marshal in a TV Western series called Deadwood. Oh, I didn't know that. He kept a lot of persona for Cobb Vanth, which I thought was awesome. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. He's amazing as Cobb Vanth. Absolutely amazing. The thing is that actor plays a character in The Office. I'm a big Office fan. What the hell's his name in The Office? Anybody a big Office fan in here? Does anybody know who I'm talking about? Cobb Vanth, the actor, he plays a character in The Office. Doesn't matter. He just reminds me of The Office every time I see him, but it's amazing because I love The Office. Honey Badger says, she didn't beat him in the duel. He was teaching her a lesson and pushed her down the path that where he wanted to send her back into the Clone Wars. Also true. Kumar says, if he was Nightfall Anakin, he should have destroyed her. Well, yeah, obviously, but that wasn't the lesson. This wasn't Anakin's just going to destroy Ahsoka because he can. That's not what's going on here. We saw Anakin multiple times defeat Ahsoka. I mean, Twilight of the Apprentice. We literally were just talking about this. Twilight of the Apprentice, Vader wins. Now, I know Ahsoka gets pulled out a few seasons later, but Vader wins that fight. Do lightsabers even work, Austin? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. General Grievous says, may the Force be with you all. May the Force be with you, General Grievous. Where was it? Savannah Stein. Thank you, Kumar. Oh my God, I'm way far behind in these chats, I guess. But Savannah Stein was rumored to be the young Ahsoka actress who's going to be in this Clone Wars flashback. That's not the case. So leaks aren't always right. Thanks, Kumar. I'm so far behind, I guess. Caleb says, I think there's going to be a time jump between episode 5 and 6. Interesting. Like the distance between galaxies is insane. So the distance of multiple galaxies. So it's going to be a while between them. Caleb, actually, to your point, I actually think we're going to get a lot of Harrison Dula on Coruscant with possibly Leia Organa in this next episode. And I think that will fill the gap because I do think that this journey to this new galaxy is going to take a while. It's definitely going to take a while. It's not going to be like quick and easy, like just like that. So I do think there will be like a time jump type thing, but I think that time jump will be filled with Harrison Dula on Coruscant with maybe an appearance of Leia Organa. I got a full-on video about that coming out tomorrow at 12 p.m. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so don't miss that. Don't miss that. You're not going to want to miss that because it's so damn good. Oh, Diamond Figs, how we doing? Diamond Figs with a extremely generous $5 haul. It says, wild how this is one episode that Dave showed again how much he truly understands Star Wars. Why he doesn't have a part in all new content baffles me. It baffles me too. And I think by the end of this whole Ahsoka show and Dave getting his own movie and stuff like that, he will be at a point where in the Lucasfilm hierarchy, he will be at a point where he can kind of be in control of everything. I think he won't have Kathleen Kennedy's job per se, and maybe Kathleen Kennedy will be replaced by somebody else. But I do think that he will have a higher position than he does right now, which is COO, I think. And he will have a say in almost everything that happens. I think he already does kind of have some pull on some other content. He's talked about it in an interview actually once where he says he has the entire like timeline of Star Wars and all the different projects that are being worked on throughout the timeline on a whiteboard in his office, or on multiple whiteboards in his offices, and he's trying to keep up with all of that. And maybe he has an input on all of that as well. If he has connection and ability to put certain things into certain projects, like people think that he put the Rakatan Empire mention in the Andor show, because we know Tony Gilroy didn't do that for sure. So it was probably Dave Filoni. And if that's the case, then he might be putting other information in other Star Wars content as well. So maybe he has a pull on the Acolyte show. Maybe he has a pull on this Lando movie that's coming soon. We'll talk about a little bit later. But thank you very much, Diamond Figs. Amazing. You're amazing. All right, let me go back up here. Scroll back up. Raheem's World. What's up, Raheem says, you're absolutely right. Leaks aren't always correct. That's true, Raheem. That is true. I'm losing my voice so bad right now. Okay. Honey Badger says, Morai was in Mando Season 2 in the forest on the branch. Looking over Ahsoka. So where is Morai now? Yeah, that's true. She is there, but that doesn't mean she's like following her everywhere, you know? General Grievous says, I think Episode 5 was the best Star Wars Disney Plus episode ever. Kind of agree. I gotta agree. Austin Hasler says, Ariana played young Gamora in Infinity War. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. So she's already been, and she actually played the girl in the Barbie movie. So she's been in Infinity War, the Barbie movie, and now Star Wars. $2 billion movies, and probably the biggest franchise in the world. She's got a pretty strong career going at the age of 16. That's to say the least. Austin says, but attachment made Anakin stronger. That's true. It made him stronger, but it also made him fall to the dark side. Caleb says, it may be that because Anakin is conflicted and is kind of shifting between the light and the dark, that he's stuck in the world between worlds. Ooh, until he's atoned for what he did while under the influence of the dark side. That's a good point. That's a good point, Caleb. Maybe he's stuck in the world between worlds because he still has to atone for what he did in his real life. That would be insane. That would be wild. I still think he's the father, but that's a great theory, Caleb, not going to lie. Honey Badger says, attachment made Anakin susceptible to the dark side and made him fall. Him being denied attachments is what caused it. That's true. That is true. General Grievous says, I think that the Jedi Order was wrong about some things. Oh, for sure they were wrong about a bunch of things. And that's what led to their downfall. Luke Skywalker mentions that. Ahsoka mentions that. That's why Ahsoka leaves the Order. That's why Qui-Gon's not on the council. That's why Dooku leaves the Order. There's a lot of examples of how the Jedi are wrong. And it's wild. They're supposed to be the good guys. They're supposed to be the good guys. Honey Badger says, I googled the time that Mando Season 2 and the Book of Boba Fett are set, and they both say 9 ABY. And The Mandalorian Season 3 is 11 ABY. Yeah, but that's Google. This isn't like Wikipedia and stuff can be altered. It's not canon knowledge, and it's not solidified information until Disney themselves has kind of given it to us. And there you go. Caleb says, Wikipedia isn't always accurate. The writers can always change stuff, and the Wikipedia monitors may not be aware of it. True. Yes. Yes. Kumar says, the Jedi of the prequels weren't fully light, though. They were corrupted by apathy and anti-attachments. Attachments make you stronger, but you must be prepared to lose your loved ones. That's the real light. Sure, I think like characters like Kanan Jarrus are true light side wielders, people who are willing and ready to sacrifice their own lives to save the ones they love, and they have attachments. And yeah, so I think Kanan Jarrus is probably the perfect example in this scenario of a Jedi, of a real true Jedi that is fully light side. He was never corrupted by the dark, and he sacrifices himself for the ones that he loves, all that stuff. Yeah. So I think attachment is necessary for the light side. And yeah, the Jedi were weird. Timothy Oliphant is the actor's name. I thought he was Mando before we knew it was just Pedro. Really? Cobb Vanth. Oh my God. Oh yeah. We have to get to my second favorite episode of any Disney Plus Star Wars, because it's not episode 4 of Ahsoka. It's not episode 4 of Ahsoka. Episode 4 of Ahsoka is my third favorite. So it goes episode 5, this episode, and then episode 4 of Ahsoka. We got to get into what that episode is in just a second here. Katja says, it's strange that nobody talks about snaking. Wait, about snaking? Snaking looking to someone. Snake. Looking to someone after he said, there is hope for you yet. Oh, Anakin maybe? Anakin looking to someone before he says there's hope for you yet. He clearly signals his okay to somebody else. Check it. Holy crap, Katja, we got to check that right now. We got to check that immediately. Does he actually look off into the distance and like, okay, somebody? Oh, is it not going to let me? Oh, shit. Don't want to get copy struck. I got to turn the volume off. Does he actually look off to the distance? Let's take a peek here. I can't show you guys because it's on Disney Plus, and they won't be okay with that. Let's see. He says there's hope for you yet. Oh, wait, what? Holy crap, Katja, you're right. Wait, can I show this? I'm going to show it. I think I can. Fuck, it's a black screen. Damn it. Hang on. Everybody go to episode 5 at what's the time here? Go to 25, go to 26 minutes exactly. 26 minutes. He says, there's hope for you yet. Looking at Ahsoka, and then he looks off in the distance and then looks back at Ahsoka. What the hell is he looking at? What? Why? What? Wait, whoa. Wait, who is he looking at? What? Katja, this is a great catch, by the way. Holy crap, I didn't even notice that. Great catch. That's very cool. That is very cool. I wonder what's going on there. That's crazy. Knights of Melvin says, I can't believe people actually watch this show. Oh, God. They've ruined Anakin, and Dave only cares about Ahsoka. Melvin, it's crazy how wrong you are. It is crazy how wrong you are, but I respect the opinion. I know what I know what your content is. It's a lot of the hater stuff, and I respect it. I respect it. But you're very wrong on this one. You're very wrong on this one, and you. I think you might want to change your tune, or you're about to see a big shift in your audience. People not really liking what you're saying anymore. Because at the time when Star Wars was struggling with the sequel trilogy and even shows like Kenobi, where you can get a lot of hate out of with Reva and stuff like that. But Ahsoka is not this place, Melvin. You're just very far in the minority here. And I don't think that's going to bode well for you. Honey Badger says, remember when people complained about hyperspace jumping in episode 9? I've heard no complaints about the super mega light speed jump in episode 4 of Ahsoka. Yeah, nobody's complaining about that because it was freaking awesome. By the way, the poll is at 62% of you guys say, yes, this is the best Disney Plus Star Wars episode. There you go. Another huge shout out to Diamond Figs. Very generous. Austin Hasler says, Dave Filoni is a good writer, but not a good director, in my opinion. Interesting. Austin, I disagree, but I'm interested about why you think that. I'm very intrigued. Caleb says, I wonder, has Ben Solo been born yet? Because if so, Leia could be testifying on Hera's behalf. We could pan over and see Han plus baby Ben and Leia look over for moral support. Caleb, that is pretty much what my video that comes out tomorrow is about. I think Hera Syndulla is going to go to Coruscant in this next episode. She's going to have this trial, this hearing, to lose her role as general. I think she will lose her role as general, but not only that, I think we will see the entire Senate of the New Republic flip on Leia Organa as well because they find out that her father is Darth Vader. We know that that happens. That's canon information. She has to be taken out of the Senate, out of the New Republic, because her father is Darth Vader. That's why she goes and creates the Resistance, because the High Republic gets rid of her. And I do think, yes, Ben Solo is alive. He is conceived at the Battle of Endor. So he's been alive. He's probably about 8 or 9 years old at this point, maybe a little bit older, 10 or 11, something like that. So he's probably about to go start training with Luke in his new Jedi temple. But I do think you will see Leia in this next episode, and I do think you might even see Han and a young Ben Solo right along with him. I do think that as well. The General Grievous says, Melvin, they didn't ruin Anakin. What are you talking about? Well, there you go. Kumar, I couldn't say it better myself. Kumar says, Anakin may be a Force ghost like, maybe a ghost like Revan, where his spirit is split in two. But I wouldn't like that. I think him being redeemed makes 10 times more sense. And that is what George Lucas always envisioned. Yeah, I don't think he's split. I think it's definitely just one Anakin. And the whole dark side stuff was just a lesson and a test for Ahsoka, for sure. Austin Hasley says, Melvin is just hating at this point. Can't give any valid criticism, and nothing Dave does will please him. Well, there you go. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you're just hating to hate at this point. Just hating to hate. Honey Badger says, to think all the events of Star Wars could have been prevented if Obi-Wan just listened to Dooku. I know. Attack of the Clones. Dooku captures Obi-Wan and tells him that there is a Sith Lord in charge of the Republic. And Obi-Wan's like, nah, are you kidding me? That's impossible. He's like, okay, whatever you say, buddy. I didn't check Wikipedia. I straight Googled it, and the year was there. Yeah, but we can't trust that. Doom Guy says the Jedi Order is essentially Buddhism with lightsabers. Yeah, in a way. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, George probably took a lot from the Buddhist culture to create the Jedi, because they are referred to as like monks almost. So yeah, very similar. Very, very similar. Honey Badger says, yeah, he looked away and then back at Ahsoka. I think that's just weird. That is weird. That is crazy. That's crazy. Wild, wild, wild. Austin Hasler says, my Ahsoka ranking is episode 4, then 5, then 1, 3, 2. Episode 2 is my least favorite. Episode 2 was the one where... episode 1 and 2 and 3 all kind of get combined in my head. Episode 2 was the one on Corellia. Yeah, that episode's probably my least favorite too. And it's not that it was bad, it was just my least favorite of the 5. Yeah. Agreed. Wait, what the hell's going on with the poll? What the hell's going on with this poll? Austin Snow says, and Ezra was pulled to the dark side when he opened the Sith holocron, but he was using the Force, but he was using it for good. That's true. Ezra's kind of like a more balanced character too, like Ahsoka, in a way. Doom Guy says, I think that may be a bit of a reach. I think it's a reach for sure. Like, he's probably not looking at somebody specifically, but it's definitely like left in there on purpose. Like, Hayden's looking at Ahsoka, like looking at Ahsoka. And he's like, then looks right back at Ahsoka. Like, that's on purpose for a reason. It's a reach, and there's probably nothing to it, but there's a detail left in there for a while. Left in there for a reason, I should say. General Grievous says, I think there were warrior Buddhists, like monks, in Japan at one point. I have no idea. I could not tell you. I don't know. He's probably looking at Obi-Wan, Yoda, or Qui-Gon. That would be cool. That would be cool for sure. That would be cool for sure. I'm totally going to butcher your name, and I apologize, but Otavio says, oh, that's in Spanish. I don't know how to speak Spanish. I don't know. Should I translate this? Let's throw it in Google Translate. Copy. I'm doing this for you, Otavio. Otavio? Google Translate. There we go. Paste. He says, for those who are fans, this episode was beautiful. It's wonderful to see the Clone Wars in live action. That's what we wanted in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah, I completely agree. This was a fantastic episode. This is what we've wanted to see for years now, is the Clone Wars in live action. And that's what we thought we were going to get in Kenobi, and we didn't get it. But we did finally get it here. Yeah, 100%. Caleb says, when the bad guys took off in the hyperspace ring ship, all that I could think was, we are going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship zooming through the skies. Yeah. I was not thinking that, but sure. Sure. General Grievous says, the Japanese warrior monks are called the Sohei. Sure, I don't know, but yes, 100%. Yeah, yes. Kumar says, I think Anakin and Ahsoka should have talked things over, like one was saying the other day. Instead of him fighting her, it just doesn't really make sense for his character to fight as a redeemed Jedi. Well, that's the lesson. She's fighting for her life. There's two things kind of going on here. Anakin's giving her a lesson about that her legacy's not yet finished. She doesn't have to be in the shadow of Anakin's legacy, because Anakin, of course, turned to the dark side. That doesn't have to happen. But the other thing that's going on here is Ahsoka's physically fighting for her life. She is dying, and she's fighting to stay alive, because if she doesn't, then she fell off that cliff and she died. So she's physically fighting for her life. That's the visual of the fight and how it corresponds to Ahsoka living or dying. Caleb says, I personally think Filoni is a better director than writer. I'm kind of on that same path too. He's still a good writer, but a lot of the Clone Wars are visual. Like, the first thing Filoni does is a storyboard. Yeah, a lot of his shots, like, he does different angles and different views, like far away views. Like, that stuff is awesome. That's Dave Filoni at his best, 100%. Austin Snow says, there's a Sith temple under the Jedi temple on Coruscant. Yeah, yes there is. Austin Hasler says, apparently, I love having two Austins, by the way. Austin Hasler says, apparently, Anakin's last appearance in Ahsoka will be a Force Ghost. Yeah, I do think we'll see Anakin again. And I think that will explain even more what's going on with Anakin. I do. Yeah, 100%. All right, we're almost caught up on the chats, and then we can get into this next episode, or this next thing I want to talk about. General Grievous, says Obi-Wan to Dooku in episode 2. Okay, Boomer, I know. It was funny, because Dooku's like, this is what's happening, literally telling him the what's going on, what's actually going on, and telling him that Palpatine was in charge. And he was like, okay, sure. Honey Badger says, another reason why the Jedi fell is because they listened to Palpatine and became warriors instead of keepers of the peace. And having to become generals in a pointless war unbalanced all of them and left them blind. That's true. Yeah, the Clone Wars was necessary. To have all the Jedi become generals instead of the keepers of the peace, it allowed Palpatine to play both sides. It allowed Palpatine to rise in power in the Senate because of the Clone Wars, and he needed to get executive power and all that stuff. So yeah, he definitely had the Clone Wars be the reason that the Jedi fell. It was necessary, for sure, because obviously he needed the clone army to turn on the Jedi, because he couldn't kill all the Jedi himself. It would be 1 on 10,000, and that wouldn't have worked, but he needed the Clone Wars to help. Yeah. Caleb Richardson says, more of Taoism than Buddhism. Taoism, maybe? Because some Buddhists worship Buddha. Taoists, I have no idea if I'm saying that right, believe that there is a way that they can follow by listening to the universe and going with the flow. Tao literally means way. It's a lot like George's concept of the Force. Yeah, that does sound very similar. Yeah, I'm sure George has said many times before that he's taken a lot of different religions and kind of morphed it into one, and that's how he created the Force. But ancient religions, like people who believed in the universe's power and stuff like that. Yeah. Dennis says, have Bendu predicted Thrawn's end in Dave Filoni's movie? Oh, well, Bendu already predicted that Thrawn would lose. I wonder if we'll ever see the Bendu again. You guys think we'll see the Bendu ever again? Give me a 1 into the chat if you think we'll see the Bendu in live action. What do we think? Is it possible? Or a 2 if you don't. 1, yes. 2, no. And as soon as you do that, throw a gigantic, in all caps, good cups, follow orders, please. Doom Guy says no. Austin says yeah. Honey Badger says yes in Ahsoka season 2 or in Dave's movie. Interesting. Thanks for the good cups, by the way. Honey Badger says Sabine is my wife and mine only. This is the way. I have spoken and I am at peace. There you go. Hasler says, according to the leaks, Thrawn won't be the main villain of the Mandoverse / Dave's movie. There's a bigger villain than Thrawn. Well, the leaks are talking about a bigger threat in the unknown galaxy, in this new galaxy. But that doesn't mean that this bigger threat, like if it's the Grisk or the Vong or whatever, that doesn't mean that that bigger threat is going to be the threat of the movie. I think Thrawn's still going to be the threat of the movie. I think they're setting up the Grisk or the Yuuzhan Vong for a post-sequel threat. After the sequel trilogy, after all this stuff, then this threat is going to come into the galaxy. So I don't think that the Vong or the Grisk will be the main villain of Dave's movie. I think it still will be Grand Admiral Thrawn, but I do think that that threat is still on the way. Yeah. Honey Badger says, also, Anakin has a line in the trailer for Ahsoka that we haven't heard yet. I'm pretty sure that we'll get more flashbacks because he said, in this war you will fight more than just droids. And we saw 0 droids in the last episode. That's true. That line still hasn't been said. That line still hasn't been said in this show. That's actually wild. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, so that's probably going to happen in the upcoming episodes. I actually think that will be in a hologram message from Anakin, like a training thing like we saw in Rebels. I think we'll see that in maybe episode 6 or 7 or 8. Yeah. John Groom, what's up? John says, the Jedi fell because of the plan from Plagueis and the execution of it from Palpatine. They used the Jesus arrogance against them. I don't know what that means, but yes. Of course, the plan that Plagueis and Palpatine put into play of Palpatine getting all this power in the Senate and then, of course, starting a war and all that other stuff, that plan was a very long and thought-out plan because Palpatine's a freaking evil genius, and that's how he took down the entire Jedi Order. That's why Palpatine's like the greatest villain of all time because of what he did in the prequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy kind of takes that and just throws it away because if Palpatine had a cool, awesome plan for the sequel trilogy, it would have been amazing. It would have been awesome. But he didn't. It was somehow he returned, and it was just stupid. So, yeah, I agree. I think, of course, Palpatine and Plagueis did come up with that plan. Yeah. Yes, John, yes. Jay says, I think that we will hear him again, but not see him. Interesting. I think we'll see probably a hologram of him training, like a training hologram thing for Ahsoka. And maybe a Force Ghost. Maybe. Caleb says, Thrawn's end will be Mando choking him to death. Oh, God. Because Bendu said he would meet his death in a warm embrace. No. Mando with his shoulder brace. Oh, God. Okay, I'm reaching. But I think Mando will kill Thrawn. You think Din Djarin will kill Thrawn? I think there's no way. It's either Ahsoka, maybe Ezra, maybe even Luke Skywalker. I don't think it's Mando. No way, Mando. No, absolutely not. No way. Caleb says, well, the voice actor who played the Bendu has passed away, I think. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I did not know that. But even still, they could bring him back. I mean, there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. All right, let's get to this other episode. My second favorite Disney Plus episode after this last one we just watched, episode 5 of the Ahsoka show. This is in the Book of Boba Fett. Now, everybody craps on the Book of Boba Fett because the Vespa gang and Beta Fett, and I agree with you. The Vespa gang was quite annoying, but the Book of Boba Fett gets overlooked. Episode 2 with the train heist is amazing. Episode 5 with Mando and the N1 starfighter, amazing. But episode 6 is the second best, in my personal opinion, is the second best Star Wars Disney Plus episode. It is From the Desert Comes a Stranger is the name of the episode. And it has Cad Bane for the first time in live action. It has Luke training Grogu. It has Luke talking to Ahsoka. She says, so much like your father. It has Luke building his Jedi temple. It has Mando talking to Ahsoka. Mando at Luke's Jedi temple. It has Yoda's lightsaber and Grogu having to decide whether to go with Din or take Yoda's lightsaber. It has a training sequence between Luke and Grogu. Did I already say that? It was so freaking good. If I said it, I'm saying it again. It had Order 66 flashbacks showing us for the first time Grogu's the way that Grogu saw Order 66 in the Jedi Temple. There was so much going on in that episode, and it was spectacular. It was the first time where we went, holy crap, they can bring Luke Skywalker back to life for 45 minutes, and he looks amazing. It was wild, and it is the second best episode. And arguably, I think on some days, I could argue that episode is better than this 5th episode. But right now, I do say that 5th episode's better. I do think that the 5th episode. But the Book of Boba Fett, because of the finale was not that big. It was just Cad Bane versus Boba Fett. And the two gigantic droids for some reason. Because of the finale, because of the Vespa gang, because of Beta Fett, the Book of Boba Fett gets overlooked. It gets crapped on a lot. However, I think that 6th episode of the Book of Boba Fett is arguably the greatest episode in Disney Plus Star Wars, but I think it's the second best behind this episode we just watched of the Ahsoka show. Yeah. Doom Guy says, they nerfed Din too much in The Mandalorian Season 3. I agree with that to an extent. I think in the finale, you see Din Djarin go off. I mean, his hallway scene, that was pretty epic when he goes through all those different, in The Phantom Menace, when Obi-Wan's going through those different, what are they called? The freaking ray shield things. That was awesome. But then also him versus Moff Gideon is awesome. Him versus those Imperial guards is awesome too. So Din really shines in that finale. But yeah, he definitely got pushed to the side in that season. Bo-Katan takes the front row seat in that Mando Season 3 for sure. Honey Badger says, I definitely see a hologram of Anakin, maybe Ahsoka saved during the Clone Wars, and if she has one, maybe she'll give one to Luke. Interesting. So he can see his father as a Jedi that he once was. That's how I think they should handle it. Maybe. I want to see a conversation between Anakin and Luke. I do. I want to see that conversation happen in front of my eyes. I need it. See you later, Austin. Have a great rest of your day. General Grievous says, Jango Fett and Boba Fett, they're great. I mean, they're absolutely great. I hope we, maybe not, but I hope we see Jango Fett's backstory, because Jango Fett has a cool-ass backstory with his, with Jocasta, with, what the hell's his name? Jaster Mareel. I mean, that whole thing with the Mandalorian War is so good. The Civil War. Caleb says, okay, I was wrong. I was thinking of a different actor. He's still alive, but since retired from acting. Yeah, but come on. The Bendu coming back. I'm sure he'd do it. Austin Hasler says, do you think there's a chance we'll see present-day Rex? Most leakers say no, and say that no one has seen Tem on set. Well, yeah, but leakers are wrong a lot. And if they were going to bring Rex into live action, they would keep it a big secret like they did, because nobody was expecting to see him in those flashbacks. But present-day Rex seems less likely the more and more we go on here, just because of how old he would be at this time. He would have to be dead. Unless they slowed down his accelerated aging, there's no way he's still alive. And if he is still alive, where is he? What's he doing? Why has he not been helping out Ahsoka? Caleb says, Tom Baker. He also played Doctor Who in the Doctor in Doctor Who. Interesting. Kumar says, Ellie Vanto has to be the one who kills Thrawn. Ellie Vanto. Otherwise, it will be a little bit lackluster in my opinion. Ellie Vanto. Why does that sound so familiar? Ellie Vanto. Oh, from the heir to the empire. Yeah. So I doubt that that's gonna happen. First of all, he doesn't exist yet. Even if he does, I don't see it happening. I don't. But maybe, you never know. Doom Guy says it has some good episodes. I think Kenobi should have stayed on Tatooine, and Book of Boba Fett should have visited other worlds to build his reputation up again. Oh yeah, if we got like Narshada or Narshada, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Narshada in Book of Boba Fett, or even some other criminal underworld planets, just got off of Tatooine, like you said. Like, it was too much Tatooine, for sure. Yeah. Caleb says, why does everybody call Mando Din when it is established in season 2 finale that Din is his, or season 3 finale, that Din is his family name and Djarin is his personal name? Because Grogu is called Din Grogu. Because Din Grogu's stupid, and Djarin is a lot more difficult to say than just Din. Honey Badger says another interesting parallel to Dooku when Dooku told Obi-Wan is Qui-Gon spoke very highly of you, the same way Balin said to Ahsoka that to Ahsoka that Anakin spoke very highly of you. That's true. It's like poetry. It rhymes. That's very true. Actually, I didn't think of that. That is cool. General Grievous says, I would love more Clone Wars stuff in live action. Oh, me too. 100%. We haven't seen Kenobi in Clone Wars armor yet. We haven't seen Obi-Wan in that Clone Wars armor yet. So maybe we'll get some more. Austin says they made Din Djarin more like Boba Fett than Boba Fett himself. Yeah, kind of. Boba Fett, though, in Mando Season 2, that episode is up there for one of the best episodes as well. Boba Fett's live action, or not, Boba Fett's like coming back when he comes to Tython. This is episode 6 of Mando Season 2. When they go to Tython, Grogu's on the Seeing Stone, they get attacked by the Empire. Boba Fett gets his armor back and goes all badass on these stormtroopers, smashing their skulls or their helmets with his gaffy stick. Like, that is the Boba Fett we want. That Boba Fett is so badass, and we didn't get that in the Book of Boba Fett, which is a big mistake. Huge mistake. Huge. John Groom says, I think we will get flashbacks of Rex's death at some point. Yeah, maybe actually you would see, oh my god, imagine he gives us Rex's death in animation in the Bad Batch Season 3? No, don't do that. Don't do that, Dave. Dave, no. Dave, no. Dave, if you're watching and we know that you are, no. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Let Rex live. Let Rex live. Let Rex live. Let Rex live. Please, no. We can't handle that. We can't handle that. I can't handle that. Yeah, no. Please, no. Please, no. Vanto's in the Thrawn, is in the canon Thrawn novels? I always get the canon Thrawn novels and the Heir to the Empire novels all mixed up because I read them like back to back. So I get all the characters and stuff. I don't know what's canon, what's not. But he is a canon character. Interesting. Maybe you will see him in live action. Maybe you will. Dave and Timothy Zahn are working very closely on this stuff. Caleb says, question, did Ahsoka know that Anakin and Padme were an item before she met Luke? Like, I feel Ahsoka knew them well enough to know that they were bumping armor. Oh yeah, she definitely knew. In the Clone Wars, I think she alludes to it a few times, no? Ahsoka definitely knew about Padme and Anakin, for sure. Yeah. General Grievous says, and of course, more Hayden as Anakin. Oh yeah, more Hayden. Get Hayden back as much as you possibly can as Anakin. 100%. Yes. John Groom says, I believe Ahsoka was physically in the world between worlds. I think she entered through the water and exited into it. I think the Force ghosts can manifest themselves physically in the world between worlds. Yes, I agree with that. I think Ahsoka was physically there. 100%. Yes. Kumar says, Maybe we'll see a young Ben Solo retrieve Vader's helmet and become friends with Jason near the end. Imagine. Yeah, you could get some Jason Syndulla and Ben Solo scenes together. They're probably about the same age. Actually, no, they wouldn't. Jason would be like 5 or 6 years older than me, maybe. Or maybe 3 or 4 years. 5 years old? Something like that. He'd be older by a few years, but not by much. Not by much. Doom Guy says Boba Fett in the Mandalorian season 2 was a beast. I could do without the knee rocket though, to be honest. Oh, I like the knee rocket. When he sticks his knee up, he's like, it's pretty cool. It was just a fun little add on there. Honey Badger says, man, his name is Din Djarin. Should have named Grogu Djarin. We didn't get Bo-Katan Kree. We didn't say Kree's Bo-Katan. I literally said it backwards because it was supposed to be that way. Like, come on now. It's true. Yeah, the whole Din Grogu thing is actually really stupid and unnecessary. Unnecessary. Yeah. General Grievous says, I would love to see Ewan as Obi-Wan during the Clone Wars as well. Oh, it would be amazing. It would be amazing. It's almost as iconic as Anakin in the armor as well. Austin says, the Bad Batch Season 3 will probably give us the death of Hunter, Wrecker, Echo, and Crosshair. What? Austin, you think they're all going to die? Actually, shout out to anybody who was anybody here when we did the live streams predicting and post Bad Batch Season 2? Give a 1 into the chat if you were here for that stuff. Because that was all the way back in January, and I don't think almost any of you guys were here for that. I know Star Wars Politics, if you're in the chat, you were here. And it may be Swagger. Swagger, were you here for that? But back then, I actually would joke that Vader was going to come into Bad Batch Season 2 and slice all their heads off. Because the Bad Batch didn't show up in anything else. We didn't know that there was going to be a Season 3 yet. And I actually thought that he'd come in and chop all their heads off. Now, maybe that happens in Season 3. Maybe they were listening to me and they wrote that into Season 3. But yeah, that's funny that you mentioned that, because I do think that a lot of those characters will die because they're not in live action and they're not in any projects afterwards. Caleb says, did Rex ever get his fast aging fixed? No, I don't think so. Because how the heck did Rex live 15 years until the Battle of Endor if he had fast aging? Because some of the clones were dying of old age in the Bad Batch. What? Were they? Clones dying of old age in the Bad Batch? I don't remember that. Jay, you were here? Oh, I didn't see. Wait, what? Oh, you didn't see the Season 2 finale. Never mind. Swagger was here. Yeah, Swagger was here. Yeah. Honey Badger says, Rex will die saving Tech's life on Mount Tantus. Oh, no. Don't do that to me. Austin Hasley says, I hope Cad Bane appears as a secondary villain in Dave's movie unless he's really dead. I don't think Cad Bane's really dead. And actually rewatching that episode in the Book of Boba Fett where Cad Bane gets introduced, my God, that's so good. Cad Bane's one of my favorite bounty hunters, top 3 for sure. And when he comes walking out of the desert, walking at Cobb Vanth, and he sends everybody inside, and his deputy's like, "Who's this guy?" And he walks up and he goes, and he shoots them both because he's badass. And then he screams to the rest of the town. He's like, something is to Tatooine is to the Syndicate, or Mos Espa, whatever he says. It's badass. Cad Bane is so damn cool, and I definitely want to see more of him. So I hope he's not dead. And maybe he's a villain of like a Book of Boba Fett Season 2, or just like a side villain or something like that of Book of Boba Fett Season 2, or Mando Season 4, or even Dave's movie. Yeah, I do hope we get some more Cad for sure. Honey Badger says, yes, Obi-Wan and Ahsoka and Rex knew about Padme, if my memory serves me correct. I think they all knew, yes. I think they all knew. Swagger says, Episode 5 was art. Personally, it's my favorite episode thus far due to the undertones, symbolism, subtle details, etc. The water/baptism or rebirth in the mother's womb. Yeah, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. General Grievous says, Ahsoka definitely knew about Padme and Anakin. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Austin says, no way they survived the events of Season 3. Otherwise, they would have been in Rebels. Yeah, I agree. That's true. They must all die. And maybe it's a lot like Rogue One, where they all make like a sacrifice play to like blow up Mount Tantus or something like that. I could see that. I could see that for sure. And then when we see Mount Tantus in live action, it's like blown up, but Thrawn comes in and like fixes it up or something like that. That would be so damn cool. That would be amazing. Amazing. I was here for the finale. What about me? You were here for the finale of Bad Batch season 2? There you go, Badger. There you go. I didn't know if you were around yet. I thought you didn't come around till Mando season 3. Oh, well, they ran at the same time, didn't they? I forgot about that. That was stupid. Caleb says, yeah, a couple of clones looked old as hell in the Bad Batch season 2. I'll have to go back and rewatch that. Or maybe it was season 1, I forget. I didn't like season 2's finale with Tech dying. Well, I liked it. I could see why you didn't, though. It's sad as balls. Caleb's are balls sad? That was a weird sentence. Caleb says one of the veteran clones walked with a cane and was super old, though he may have been one of the first clones that they made in long before episode 2. Yeah, maybe. I'm not too sure. John Groom says, I'm not ready to see the entire Bad Batch die in season 3. I still hope that Tech is alive there with plenty of Imperial ships that could have intercepted his fall. I think Tech might have survived the fall, but he's not going to be the Tech that we remember. He's going to be severely injured. He was captured by the Empire, brought in, tortured on Mount Tantus. Like, he's not going to be the same guy. Jay says, is there going to be a Book of Boba Fett season 2? Right now, no. But there could be. You never know. Depends on how much content they want to put out before this movie. Nothing's really set in stone yet, especially with these writer strikes. Austin Hasler says, according to Jason from Making Star Wars, Shin and Balin's story goes beyond Ahsoka season 1. Oh yeah, I think it does. I think they both survive, and I think their story does go beyond this first season. So, first of all, that's a big bummer because Ray Stevenson, of course, sadly passed away in May. But how are they going to do that? How are they going to deal with that? That's going to be a tough one. But yeah. And Jason, if you're in the chat, because Jason, I got a subscription, or somebody subscribed to the channel. That's name is Jason Ward, who is, of course, from Making Star Wars. Jason Ward, same name. If you're in the chat, please say something. Swagger says, what about Omega? I know. What about Omega? Well, what if she dies too? What if they all die? I don't know. I think season 3 is going to be the last season. It's not going to be a 4th season of Bad Batch. So I think they're all going to make a sacrifice play at the end. I do think so. All right, let's end this poll. See where this poll ended at. 66. Ooh, execute order 66. 66% of you guys think that this episode was the best episode ever. And I agree. Kumar says, Omega is really annoying, to be honest. She was annoying. I think she's kind of like grown on me. She's kind of like an Ahsoka character, or like Luke, who starts off really, really annoying. Uncle Owen! And then becomes the awesome, cool Jedi that he is, you know? Honey Badger says, Mike, I'm watching. It's D-Max. Yo, what's up, D-Max? How we doing? John Groom says, who replaces Ray Stevenson? I don't know if you can replace Ray Stevenson. Maybe they'll just deepfake him, which would, I don't know. I guess you could recast, but that would just be so bad. It would feel bad. It would feel bad because Ray Stevenson's given us such a great performance in this episode. It would be tough. It would be real tough, John, but I don't know. We'll see. Jip, what's up, Jip, says, yo, do you think there comes a season 2 of Ahsoka? I don't know. It depends on the movie. It depends on if Dave Filoni's getting a trilogy or not. If he's just getting one movie, I think you will see an Ahsoka season 2. If it's going to be a trilogy of movies, I think you're not going to see an Ahsoka season 2. Austin says, I think Ahsoka will survive. I think Ahsoka might survive if anybody, not Ahsoka, Omega. If Omega survives, she'll show up in live action at some point. Maybe in the Mandoverse, because she doesn't have the accelerated aging. It's possible. It is possible. But I think she'll become like a completely different character if all of her brothers die. She'll maybe go dark side or something like that and become a bounty hunter or something. Austin Hasler says, Omega probably survives and somehow returns like Palpatine. There you go. That's exactly what will happen. Omega needs to live so Boba can find his sister in the Book of Boba Fett Season 2. Bring in Tamora Morrison in a blonde wig. Yeah, bring in the blonde wig. Just do it. Just do it. Go big or go home. Yeah, just go big or go home. General Grievous says, it's interesting how there's a major ARC trooper character called Alpha in Legends, and now we have Omega, a clone character in canon. Alpha and Omega? Yeah, that is cool. Austin Hasler says, they will probably scrap Balin's story and kill him off screen, and it will only be Shin. Oh, that would be such a bummer. They kill him off screen. That would be so bad. I don't want that. I don't want that. By the way, Austin, what is your profile picture? What kind of car is that? Austin says, because of her relationship with Hera, Omega will survive. That's true. Omega does have a relationship with Hera Syndulla. I didn't even think about that. Maybe she could show up in this Mando era because she knows Ahsoka. Knows Hera. John Groom says, seen some theories we could see Maul in some way in this new universe. Maybe a cloned version of Maul, but I don't think so. I don't think we'll see Maul. I don't think so. No. Honey Badger says, I think Millie Bobby Brown would make a great Omega. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know if they'd go for that big of an actress to play Omega. Doom Guy says, in my opinion, they need to stop with the deepfakes. Let the characters/actresses performances be what they were when they were alive. I'd prefer they recast if needed. It's a debate that will go on forever. It's literally a debate that will go on forever. Because on the one hand, Anakin looked like Anakin. Luke looked like Luke. And you still have the actors, Mark Hamill and Hayden Christensen, coming back to perform as the character. So that's a different scenario as if they deepfaked Ray Stevenson. Because Ray Stevenson's gone. He can't voice the character. He can't come back and play the character. And now they're just using his likeness. With Anakin and Luke, the actors are too old, so they come back and voice the characters, do the motions, but they get deepfaked on top of it. So that's a little bit different. And the recast would have a different actor playing the same character, and it would feel a little bit too weird for me. So I don't know. We'll see what they do. But right now, the deepfake is working. The deepfake is working. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it is. If you have to deepfake, perhaps it's time to move on to another timeline. Oh, God, no. Definitely no other timeline, please. Jay says, if anyone replaces Rey, it should be Lev Schreiber. Lev Schreiber? Lev Schreiber. Oh, yeah, this guy actually does kind of look like Ray Stevenson, doesn't he? Oh, my God. Yeah, do that. Do that. Great fan cast there, Jay. Caleb says, I think Boba will be revealed to be the first clone of the production line, and thus be called Alpha, and Omega is the last clone made before. Wait, what? Oh, Boba. Okay, I thought you were saying Maul. Alpha and Omega is the last clone before the Jango Fett DNA was stolen in the Clone Wars. Yeah, probably. I mean, Boba is his son, and Omega is an unaltered clone as well. Probably the last one, too. You never know. You never know. Lev Schreiber, he literally could beat me. Lev Schreiber, he literally beat me to it. He played Sabretooth in the X-Men movies. Yeah, he actually does look like Ray Stevenson a little bit, honestly. Raheem's World says, Millie Bobby Brown has no interest in being Omega, but has strong interest with playing Princess Leia. That would be great. I do think we'll see Princess Leia next week. I do think we'll see her on Tuesday. So whether it's deepfakes, whether it's a new actress, remains to be seen. But I'm doing a full-on video about it that comes out tomorrow. So watch out for that. We are doing giveaway. Another giveaway. We already did our first giveaway. We have 6 amazing members on the channel. Shout out to Raheem. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to your pal Joe. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Darth Josepher. And the 6th one. I'm so sorry. Who is it? Oh, it's Sulfur Squirrel. Sulfur Squirrel, of course. My fault, Sulfur. 6 founding members on the channel, and we're trying to get more, of course. But you have to become a member, and you get instant access to the giveaways. This giveaway is huge. Last giveaway, we gave away 2 pop figures. a Darth Vader one, Ahsoka one, and this awesome shirt, not this one, an awesome shirt that was the Imperial March. Give those 3 things away to some great members, but this next one is going to be one you don't want to miss. Have you seen the Sabine hot toy? Let's take a gander. Sabine Wren hot toy. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? We know the Sabine love is in this chat. We know the Sabine love in this chat. Sabine hot toy. I mean, look at how real that looks. Are you kidding me? Sabine hot toy with the lightsaber and everything. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, come on. So that'll be one of the things we give away. We're doing 3 things again. 3 things again for the giveaway. So that's the first thing. The second thing is this. Let me pull it up here. So wait. The second thing is this. There we go. There we go. Found it. Second thing is this. Harrison Dula pop figure. This is like a brand new Ahsoka series type thing, pop figure, in the new line of pop figures. And the third thing that we're giving away is the biggest thing we've given away to date, of course. I mean, all these things are pretty big. The third thing we're giving away is the biggest thing we've done to date. We're going big or we're going home. At some point when the channel becomes big enough and we get enough money coming into the channel, we'll be doing way bigger giveaways, like lightsaber giveaways, like console giveaways, video game giveaways. When like Star Wars Outlaws comes out and stuff, we'll be giving away that game because it's like $70 and not everybody can afford that, and just giving away games like that, stuff like that, big stuff like that, bigger, more expensive things like that. But the third thing, and I'm going to just give you a tiny sneak peek in honor of the craziness that was Darth Vader in that last episode. The biggest thing we've ever given away on the channel, and this is a sneak peek, and you guys are the first to have actually see this. Given this, okay? Giving this away, not this specifically. I'm obviously giving away one that's not crafted already, so you guys can make it yourselves. But it's Darth Vader's head. It's Darth Vader's head. It comes with like a plaque that says Darth Vader, and it's Lego, of course. So it's not the crafted one already. It's one in a box. But it's pretty damn cool. It's pretty damn cool. So, there you go. There you go. Wait, what the hell? It says, my wife, I need this hot toy. Oh, $271? I need it. Wait, what? Is that hot toy $271? Hang on, I might be taking that back. Wait, what? It's $271? You're kidding me. That's not the one I was looking at. Oh, what the hell? That says $271. Wait, pre-order? No, I thought there was one already out. What happened to the Sabine toy that was already out? Was that not Hot Toy? Was it something else? Was it Dark Series maybe? Either way, there's a Sabine toy, okay? That's come out already. That's not that one, I guess. That's a pre-sale thing. I don't know what. Where's the Sabine? We talked about this already on stream. What is the Sabine toy? Sabine Wren toy. It's not that one, guys. It's not that one. What the hell? We talked about this already. Where is it? I'll find it, guys. Don't worry. Oh, wait. I found it. Found it already. Wait, what? That's not it. Where the hell is this thing? I'll find it off stream. I'll get back to you guys on Thursday. I mean, on Tuesday. But that, I don't know what the hell happened to that thing. That was not what it's not what we were looking at before, was it? Like, I'm confused. Whatever. All right. We'll figure it out on yeah, the Hot Toy's not out yet. Yeah, it was something else. It's a different version of the Sabine toy. It's similar to the Hot Toy, but it's not. It's a Sabine action figure. Whatever. It's the same thing. Same thing. Let me catch up on some chats here. Holy crap, you guys have said so much already. What the wait, whoa. Hang on. Austin says, I saw people fan cast Florence Pugh as Omega. There you go, that would be a good one. No one is replacing Carrie Fisher. No one's replacing Carrie Fisher, but do you think they'll deepfake her, Jip? Do you think they'll deepfake her? They deepfaked her in Rogue One. They deepfaked her in Rise of Skywalker. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Jip says, what's the next project to come out after Ahsoka? It will be... So it was supposed to be Skeleton Crew. It was supposed to be Skeleton Crew. That was supposed to come out in November or December. I forget when it was. But it never got an official release date, and now it's been postponed. So Skeleton Crew will most likely come out next year. Probably push back even further. So I think the next project might actually be Acolyte. Might be Acolyte, which is supposed to be the Sith-centered show that'll take place before the Phantom Menace. That'll be the first introduction into live action into the High Republic era. The High Republic era. High Republic, yeah. All right. Let me see. Caleb says, thoughts on Lucasfilm and Donald Glover announcing that the Lando show will be a movie? I hope it's called Lando, A Star Wars Story, and is a sequel to Solo, A Star Wars Story. Yeah, I did hear about that. I did hear about that, and that's pretty cool. I think if you don't have enough story to make an 8-episode show, turn it into a movie. The Kenobi show should have been a movie. Book of Boba Fett probably should have been a movie as well, and those Mando episodes should have just been in Mando Season 3. So if you don't have enough for 8 episodes of a show, make it a movie. Make it a movie. It'd be stupid and dumb and stupid to just drag out a show like the Kenobi show. All that Reva stuff could have been cut out. All of it. It could have just been a movie. That's it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but I think Lando as a movie would be a lot better than Lando as a show. The only problem is Disney blames almost everything that has happened with Star Wars on Kenobi. On Solo. On Solo, A Star Wars Story not performing well in the theaters. The reason that Kenobi's a show and not a movie, the reason Book of Boba Fett is a show and not a movie, is because Solo did not perform well. Now, Solo's not a bad movie, but it didn't perform well. So it'll be interesting to see if Solo actually is a movie or not. We'll see. We shall see. Jip says, why is it Jason Syndulla and not Jason Jarrus? Interesting. Honey Badger says, because Kanan is dead and by the birth of Jason, and Hera has to give her his last name. That's true, or her last name, because Hera and Kanan never got married. Also, Kanan Jarrus isn't his name; it's Caleb Doom. So either way wouldn't have been Kanan's name. So Syndulla makes more sense. Yeah, no. Whoa, what the hell? Caleb says, Rachel House as Omega in the Mandoverse. Who the hell's Rachel House? Let's look it up. Rachel House. Wait, what? This girl? As Omega? Must be thinking of a different Rachel House. She would not make a good Omega. She's a Morai. She's a Morai actress like Tamara Morrison, and she is around his age. Oh, well, maybe then. She doesn't really look enough like Tamara Morrison. I hope we get an Ezra spin-off show. Me too. Ezra's one of my favorite characters ever, so that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Austin says, who deserves Sabine Wren? Me or Badger? You guys can fight that out. Swagger Like Us says, Star Wars needs to start doing special features / mini films like Marvel's Werewolf by Night, live action mini anthology films that cover every era, Dawn of the Jedi, sequels, etc. I'm not the biggest fan of those special presentations. It's like an hour long. You might as well just make it 2 hours long and make it a movie. Put it into movie theaters. If it's not a big enough story, then just make it like a Tales of the Jedi type thing. Not the biggest fan of those special presentations. Honey Badger says, Michelle Ang voices Omega. She should play the adult version of her. Let's see what she looks like. Michelle? Michelle Ang. She does not look anything like Tamara Morrison, though. I'm sure she's a great actress, but she doesn't look the part. Raheem's World says, I can't wait for Tales of the Jedi Season 2. Me either. 100%. Honey Badger says, Mike, I unfortunately have to go. Great live stream as always. May the force be with you and everybody in chat. See you later, Honey Badger. Thanks for stopping by. John Groom says, okay, I think you've hit the nail on the head. New rule. If an actor is still alive and capable of playing the role, then deepfake. If the actor has passed away, then recast. Yeah, John, I think that's it. I think that's how it should be done. 100%. Yes. I would love some more Tales of the Jedi. Well, we are getting to Tales of the Jedi Season 2 next year. Maybe it's getting pushed back. I'm not too sure, but it will come out most likely next year, if not the year after. We don't know who it's going to follow, but there will be a second season of Tales. Yeah. Werewolf by Night was great, though. It was great. It was. But I just don't see Star Wars needing those, you know? Jip says, just give Dave Star Wars, bro. Don't give us crap. Oh, bro, don't give us crap. Yeah, I think Dave should be in charge of Star Wars and should have a pull on everything that gets created, but we'll see. We'll see. Dennis says, I hope the leaks are true and Ezra has a Rancor bone lightsaber. Well, first of all, that would be insane. Where would he get a Rancor bone and how would he make a lightsaber out of it? But that would be absolutely wild. I don't think Ezra's going to have a lightsaber when we see him. Honestly, I don't. Kumar says, Tales of the Sith would be absolutely stunning. If we could see Darth Bane, Plagueis, oh my God, Revan, Malik, Emperor Vitiate, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Yeah, but I feel like if you did a Tales of the Sith, it wouldn't be those characters because those characters haven't been introduced and established. Dooku and Ahsoka were both established characters. If you were doing a Tales of the Sith, you'd have Vader, Palpatine, and that's pretty much it. Maybe Plagueis. But they have to introduce those characters first. In animation, in live action, they are canon characters, but we need more story first and then do Tales. Caleb says, I think if you've got enough story for a 1 hour episode and not a full movie, then just save up a few on an hour script and make an anthology show. Yeah, that's probably what I would say too. Yeah. General Grievous says, I love the Dooku story in Tales of the Jedi. It's so amazing that we were able to see him. Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. And I do hope we get more of Tales of the Jedi, maybe not following Dooku specifically, but more of other characters, like Quinlan Vos, or Luke Skywalker, or literally anybody. Leia, Yoda, anybody. Mace Windu. Why not? Yeah. All right, I do think we're going to get on out of here. I got to get going soon, so we're going to get on out of here. Tuesday, watch out for that video tomorrow about Leia being in the next episode of Ahsoka. That will come out at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Try and make the premiere. We got a bunch of people in there, premiere people, #premiere people, that come to those premieres, and we talk about the video live, and that's a lot of fun. So come by that at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, and then on Tuesday, we'll be having our usual streams, prediction stream, live watch party, all that stuff. And we'll talk about that. We'll get that giveaway thing down for sure. The Harrison Dula Pop figure. Maybe we'll have to find a different alternative for the I don't know where I saw that. I think it was on Instagram. I'll find it again. But that Sabine thing, maybe it'll have to just be a Sabine Pop figure. But we're definitely doing the Lego Vader head. That will be so damn cool. So damn cool. Because it'll be the biggest thing by far that we've ever given away. And we're just going to keep going from there. So, with all that being said, let me read some of these last chats. Doom Guy says, can we make Dash Rendar canon, please? Thank you. Maybe. I mean, I don't see where they would put him in just yet, but it's possible. I hope a KOTOR remake is coming. Yeah, I do too. Bro, the only good Disney Star Wars shows are from Dave. Tales of the Jedi, Clone Wars, Mando Season 1 and 2, and Ahsoka and Bad Batch. Yeah, that's true, Jip. You're not wrong. Oh, and Rebels. You missed Rebels, but Rebels is peak. So, yeah, I agree. General Grievous says, isn't Dash... Jay says, isn't Dash canon? No, not yet. Or actually, is he? I don't think so. General Grievous says, I would love a story done like about General Grievous. Ooh, interesting. Either Jedi or nor Sith. Yeah, General Grievous backstory would be very cool. Yeah. Tales of the Jedi and Ahsoka series are proving Star Wars' future is all the great content the main saga ignores. That's very true. That is very true. That is very true. All right, I'm gonna get on out of here. You guys are the absolute best. Watch out for that video tomorrow. Live stream on Tuesday. Maybe a video even on Monday. Have a great rest of your, wait, no, sorry. Smash a like on this video, hit that subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. And my pretty face will show up in the recommended feed of yours. And may the Force be with you. Always, always, always. Where is that stupid button? Are you kidding me right now? Why is this button like always just hidden away from me? It's like they don't want me to end my streams. Found it. Found it. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. Another huge shout out to Diamond Figs for that very generous $5 donation. You guys are the absolute best. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow, but next time on Tuesday with our live streams. Have a great rest of your evening. Have a great rest of your lives. And good night, everybody. I guess it's not nighttime, but whatever.